Dear children of God, greetings of Ignatius 500. Every human being accepts that we humans are composite of bio, psycho, socio, spiritual, cultural, political, economic systems. We proudly proclaim that we are governed by the common principle Yadum Ure Yavarum Kelir as universal goal of all for all. Thus, we manifest a life of human divine combined. But we painfully note that the world today experiences downfall of humanity because it globalizes polarization with the latest concept of gain of function, and a small number of learned bioscientists for their gain of petty popularity murdering innocent people under the banner of COVID. Such a death is inhuman and is work of evil. Genuine bioscientists and morally committed media personnel are trying to unfold the cause of coronavirus spread, whether as emerged nature or engineered nurture. If it is an engineered pandemic, then what impelled them to act inhumanely? Thiruvalluvar invites us to inquire into the disease, its cause and its method of cure, and treat it. Though legal inquiry would fetch retributive justice, spiritual inquiry would enlighten us dynamics of the evil. On searching for meaning, Viktor Frankl invites us to discover why of our human life and search for house of life. The spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius is a fitting tool for this search because it is the experience of Ignatius, who was for self-fame turned to good of all. The spiritual exercises impulse with a principle and foundation which underlines the goal and ways of our life. God continues to create us in His own image. He creates us out of love and for His glory. The glory of God is human person fully alive. To Saint Augustine, our hearts are created for you, O Lord, and they will be restless until they find their rest in you. Ignatian principle and foundation situates us in God's presence and all else in relationship to God. God alone is absolute. Everything else is in relation to Him. Everything comes from Him and goes back to Him. This is the dynamic movement of creation to the Creator. Everything is filled with the presence of God if only we are able to see it. Human beings are created to praise, reverence, and serve God, and thus to attain fullness of life. God has not only just created us, but also has a plan for us, a plan to unite all things in Christ. His will is that we discover His image in us. To St. Ignatius, imagining the wonder of our beings and giving praise and glory of God in life and in death are supposed to be the second nature of Jesuits. Once we identify the purpose of our life, we see the purpose of all creatures, and we use them in as far as they help us towards our aim, and free ourselves from them in as far as they are a hindrance. Thus, our one desire and choice be what is more conducive to the end for which we are created. This is an attitude of indifference which grows with awareness of our attachments, blocks, resistance, and unfreedoms. Ignatian indifference is total attachment to God and openness to His plan for us. It is to raise above our attachments, plans, projects, security, and comfort, and let Him take over the control of our life. Does a clay pot dare to argue with its maker? Ignatian indifference is the disposition to use creatures according to inner freedom, to be rich or poor, to be joyful, thankful, and prayerful in all circumstances. Ignatian indifference is a choice, not a static and unproductive disposition. Out of the inner freedom, we choose that which is more conducive for the greater joy, for the greater good of others, for the greater glory of God, no matter what the cost is. To conclude, the Ignatian principle and foundation is a vision statement of Ignatius. Growing in this grace vision enables us to experience joy of total surrender to the mystery of God in Jesus Christ and to indifference towards all created things, which will help us to attain our end. This leads us not only saving ourselves but also the others' souls. This grants a moment of self-return, of active self-identity, of self-possession, a return to our own deepest mystery as human persons. And thus we will be able to see everything new in Christ. Let us constantly inquire ourselves what is vision for our life and our world view. Thank you.